I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here in the Hub Culture Pavilion in Davos at the World Economic Forum. Really excited to be joined now by Brian Schmidt. He's a professor at the Australian National University, Nobel laureate, in fact, for your work on dark energy. So how's it going? Have we found it yet?
Well, we discovered it 15 years ago. The problem is we don't really know what it is yet, but it is sort of one of the biggest mysteries of the universe because it's 70% of the universe. We don't really understand it at all, except for that it exists.
I know that it's one of the big mysteries, one of the big research topics. So what are the next steps? What are you doing now to continue to figure out what it is?
So the key is to see how it behaves. So if you think of how science works, you have an idea and you want to test it. The idea we have right now is from Einstein back in 1917, something he called his greatest mistake, which is that space may be full of energy. And we can test that. We can see how does the universe expand over time, and does it do exactly what Einstein says, or does it do something different? So that's what we're doing right now.
And who are you working with?
Well, science is very international. So I am working with people in Europe, with people in the United States, with people in Asia, with people in South America. So pretty much everyone.
How does your work relate to what you're talking about here in Davos?
So it would seem a little tenuous that we're doing something abstract about energy that's part of space, and indeed it is a little abstract there because the work we're doing today probably won't have any practical benefit in the near future. That being said, it's all part of the way science builds up knowledge, and that knowledge ends up eventually giving you technology. We have a very good example in Australia where my colleagues went out and were looking for Stephen Hawking's evaporating black holes. What good could that be? And in the process, they invented Wi-Fi, Australia's most valuable invention. So you can find new things in places you're not expecting to find them. And that's one of the reasons we do basic research, is if you only do what you already know, you invent what you already know. And basic research gives us the opportunity to do new things.
How's investment in science? Have you got enough money to do what you want?
Well, scientists will always think there's not enough money. And I would say things have been pretty tight, but despite the hard times, Europe has done particularly well at investing in science. I think things have squeezed more than maybe they should have in the United States and, quite frankly, in Australia, where I live. That being said, what science really benefits is from long-term strategic fundings, where we don't go up one year, down the next. We need to have a long-term vision because we're working on 20-year problems, and when we bounce around, then you just end up wasting money. So I guess I would like to see us take a longer-term vision and maybe have a little bit less today that we ask for, in the hope that we have an even amount of money over the future.
So when I interviewed the director of CERN a few years ago, he was telling me that his message at Davos at the time was he needed more students studying science and loving it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the ability to help answer some of these hard questions in the universe. Do you see a huge variety of students coming through? Are enough people getting taught science in a good way?
So I see a number of problems on this front. It used to be that the best and brightest went and did physics, and that's not true anymore. We tend to have populating, at least in Australia and the United States, our ranks with the best and brightest doing law and medicine. And it's good to have smart people doing those things, but you don't want everyone doing those things. And so I think we are at a bit of a shortage within science and technology of having the real bright sparks we need to power us through the innovations that the world requires. But it's not just physics that needs people who know science and math and engineering. The entire world needs it. And if you're going to be a good plumber, or you're going to be, a good economist, all these things you need math. If you're a good plumber, you mess the math up, bad things happen.
Thank you so much for coming by the Hub Culture Pavilion here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.